So the other day, I was doing some market research on Reddit to learn more about people's unfiltered thoughts and opinions about what they think mindset coaching is about and what coaches do. That was quite interesting, to say the least, from comments like, it's a paid body to give you possibly questionable advice, to someone winging it at being a therapist and mostly gives motivational talks. Not gonna lie, these comments do make me chuckle quite a bit, but also left me with concern that there seems to be some stigma around coaches out there that's not entirely true. Whilst it is an unregulated profession and you totally could go to Udemy and take a $10 course to get a certificate to be a mindset coach, a life coach, empowerment coach, self-love coach, whatever you want to call yourself, or you could even just wake up one day and you decide you're going to be one just because you like talking about that kind of stuff. There actually are worldwide recognized intensive training institutions and certification programs out there like the Corrective Training Institute or IPAC. In addition, there is the ICF, which stands for the International Coaching Federation, and they are the most recognized organization for professional coaching to ensure accredited coaches have met stringent education and experience requirements. And they also need to have demonstrated a thorough understanding of the coaching competencies that set the standard in this profession. Additionally, they adhere to very strict ethical guidelines as part of the ICF's mission to protect and serve those coaching consumers. So the ICF defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. The process of coaching often unlocks previously untapped sources of imagination, productivity, and leadership. We all have goals we want to reach, challenges we're striving to overcome, and times when we feel stuck. So partnering with a coach can change your life, setting you on a path to greater personal and professional fulfillment. That might be a lot of fancy words from the ICF, so my personal definition is the process of activating your own inner wisdom and strength to find the answers to your problems. Or even shorter, we can say it is you activating and becoming your best self. And whilst there might be overlaps with therapy, coaches don't actually try to be therapists without the correct education, as some people might think, because it's very much its own speciality. And a good coach will always tell you that, by the way, like this, what we're doing right here is totally not therapy. And they will make sure you get the difference in the discovery call or like the first chat when you have it, and they are just like figuring out what you want and what your goals are. And they will make sure that you understand and that it's our goal for you to make an informed and empowered decision for your needs. But to be really precise, like how actually is coaching different from therapy? So in my own words, the easiest way to explain this is that therapy focuses on understanding and healing your past, including trauma or mental illnesses. A coach doesn't do that at all, unless we had specific training that qualifies us to do so paired with coaching, then fine, but most actually don't. So if you were to come to me and say you want to work through a traumatic experience or heal your depression or work through mental health conditions, I will tell you right there and then that you need a therapist, and maybe have that next to coaching if that's what you desire. But I will also help you to refer you to a therapist, get you in touch with like different resources that you can use, because this might just not be the right stage for you right now to get into coaching. You might need the healing first and then maybe add on coaching later. Because in coaching, like whilst we do go into the past and work on shifting limiting beliefs and explore where fears come from, we also always bring it back to the present moment and the future outlook. So it's much more of an inward and forward-looking approach, and very much action-oriented to work towards your goals, whether that is something you want to achieve or someone who you want to become. It can be very healing, of course, but it's not a coach's job to explain you why you think or behave a certain way. Again, that's what a therapist does. At the same time, coaching is also very different from mentoring. Mentoring is giving explicit advice and to-dos based on one's own life experiences. Again, a coach doesn't do that. It's actually against the standards of ICF to shower the clients with advice because it takes away their power, so your power, to find your own insight that actually resonates with you. So instead, we help draw out the client's own wisdom and help them make an empowered and informed decision based on that. I do have to admit though, when the client specifically asks for my personal experience or advice on a topic, which is actually very rare, but it does happen, I do so only with an explicit statement that what I'm about to say right now is not coaching, it's mentoring, and there is no obligation for them to take the advice if it doesn't resonate. So if you are right now on the fence whether you need coaching or not, here are actually 4 signs that might help you make a decision. First up, you know you've got potential and want to make the most out of it. But sometimes imposter syndrome sneaks in and holds you back from taking that next step because you don't feel good enough, or showing your true self feels too scary because of what others might think. You have awareness of you holding yourself back and you seek to get unstuck or out of your current situation. You want change. That's the first sign. Next up, you have clear goals and a vision for your life. You know you're meant for more, but it feels like such a radical change right now that you're struggling to see where to even start. That causes your brain to go into worst case scenario thinking and survival mode and stress, and the dream is quickly suppressed once again, though you just can't help but keep on wondering about what if. So if you have that recurring dream and it's just not shutting up or getting out of your system, but you have no idea how to get there, but you are also committed and ready to do the work to make things happen, like you know that you need to shift your mindset and take daily actions to be fit for your purpose in life and business, then also coaching is for you. But also, even with all your effort and always doing what others tell you to, sometimes you might even be feeling like you're not making the progress you really want. Sometimes it might feel slow, so you find yourself dropping off your practices, or even, quite frankly, alone in this process. This is another sign that you might need coaching, because we can be that accountability person for you to keep you going. We keep you going when the times are good and also when the times are bad. And last but not least, if you want to feel confident and true to yourself in everything you do, and you crave deep, deep, deep alignment, certainty and trust in who you are and what you do, like you want to understand yourself on a deep level, despite it feeling uncomfortable at first, and you know you have blind spots and want someone to call them out, but equally you also want someone to hold you up to your potential and your own promises. And maybe right now it feels like you've hit a glass ceiling in your personal growth and you keep wondering what it is that is keeping you stuck and why. Then that is another sign that you might actually need coaching. So if any of these hit the spot for you, then again, coaching is the right route to take. Not necessarily therapy or mentoring, but you can also combine all 3 of them. And coaching very much can be life-changing. I know it's a buzzword to say, and many people use it, but I have first-hand experience of the power of coaching myself and have seen it countless times with my clients too. If you do want to hear my story, though, I will link an episode below where I go into more detail, but in short, coaching has helped me navigate big life challenges like burnout, like divorce, and choosing entrepreneurship after being in the corporate world for almost a decade. It also helped me to rebuild my self-trust and have literally an overall better life experience through overcoming things like negativity bias, imposter syndrome, and the good and old perfectionism. And for clients as well, like the people who I've worked with, it has led to really choosing themselves and move on from toxic relationships, from staying in jobs they didn't feel valued in, to having the self-trust to go for and landing those dream jobs. It has led to more intangible transformations as well, in which they learn to really appreciate emotions on a whole new level and stop dissociating or avoiding them, and instead embracing them, leading to an overall more beautiful life experience. Because we want both, okay? We want both the ups and the downs. Others went on to create better habits for themselves and finally stick to them. Then again, others learned to respect their own worth and set up boundaries, or how to stand up for themselves. I even had clients starting side hustles from their passion, or even turn them into their full-time business. And I also want to say, specifically in my coaching practice, we are focusing very heavily on, obviously, the mindset work. I'm a mindset coach, but also action taking, leadership, and well-being, as they all contribute to you becoming your best self and build that juicy, juicy self-trust. But the beauty of coaching is also that each coach has a very different style or approach. Some might include somatic practices, if that's what you like. Others might not include any form of meditations at all. That's how you say it. So let's assume for a moment that you are super clear on the fact that you want coaching and you want to know how to find the right coach for you. Well, there are 2 things to look for to find a good coach. Official credentials that are not from a $10 course off the internet and are actually accredited by the ACF. Again, this is to ensure a minimum standard of quality and protection for you as the client. Even better if you can combine that with solid testimonials from real people that the coach has worked with, or word of mouth referrals from the people you trust who already work with that coach. So do your research on them, the content they put out, how they show up, if they embody values that are important to you, and if they are genuine. There are unfortunately some scammers out there that will not live up to their promises, mostly because they haven't had the accurate coach training and thought they just want to create an easy business, making easy money. But by looking for a coach with credentials, you will already be at a better starting point. The second thing is the vibes. So you will be entering a rather intimate relationship with your coach, and you will want to feel safe and comfortable in their presence. You are going to be partners on this journey and spend quite a bit of time together. At least that's how it is with me. And you talk about very personal topics. Even if a friend maybe recommended a coach and you have a discovery call, but you don't vibe, then that's okay. Trust your instinct, trust your gut, and really listen to your intuition. The best way to do so is through actually speed dating several coaches through discovery calls. They are such a great way to find your perfect match as you check who you feel safe with and which approach, coaching practices you also like to achieve your goals and work on what you want to work on. These are also actually great opportunities to get a taste of coaching, as it will often be a mix of creating clarity, obviously, on the services and what you want to get out of it, as well as finding out what your goals are. And the coach will most likely do a little bit of coaching in that call. So that's, for example, something that I like to do. So it's kind of like a mix between asking you general questions about your goals, but also to already coach you a little bit to just find out what's going on there. That could be some deeper dreams, some deeper fears. It could also be some self-sabotage types. In addition, these are also really great for the coach to check exactly the same, as well as to find out whether this relationship is actually coaching that you seek and if you work well together. So if you, for example, come into a discovery call with me and it becomes very apparent to me that you might instead need therapy, again, I will voice that and will provide you with some touch points as well. Also, if I recognize that you might actually not be a good fit to work with me, I will also voice that. It's also a protection also for me to not work with everybody. I want to make sure this is a great relationship as well, where I have confidence as well that this is the most beneficial for the both of us. And if you do want to check me out as a coach, I put the link to book a free discovery call with me in the show notes and description. Just want to say there's no pitch in that call, but all the vibes check. So we both know this is something we can partner on together. And with that, That's today's episode in a wrap. I hope this was helpful for you to understand coaching a little bit better and get rid of some of the stigmas around it, even though they do make me chuckle from time to time. But it is an honorable profession that can have a huge impact on other people's lives, and I don't take that lightly. So without further ado, I shall see you next Monday with a new episode. Bye.